Hello and welcome to another Uniko video with me, Bev, the owner and designer of all things Uniko. Welcome to day 3 of the Christmas in July product introductions 2025. We've already had 2 fabulous introductions so far. If you've missed them, you can check back on the last couple of videos I've shared, and I've also shared a couple of shorts as well if you don't have time to watch a long video. Anyway, back to today. This is flipping awesome. If you know and you've been around Uniko for a while, you'll know of my Ink and Flip Stencils. Back in July 2023 was when I introduced the Ink and Flip Star, this one here that I've just brought into view. And when you ink it and then clean it and then flip it again, it creates a fabulous star shape that's been masked off. I then expanded the concept and came up with 2 layer stencils. Let's see if I can quickly find one. So for example, we have the Ink and Flip heart. So you get the what I call the background layer, that when you ink and then flip and then ink again, it masks off this geometric heart shape. And then you've got this layer of the stencil that then when you flip it, it creates a heart, and you can use them both together or individually. There's lots of options. And then earlier this year I expanded the Ink and Flip range even further. I should have been a little bit more organized today, and created an all over pattern. And we started off with Ink and Flip diamonds. It pairs beautifully with the stamp set Background Builders Delightful Diamonds. They can be used together, but obviously they can be used individually. And there's a few videos and shorts showing how this all over pattern works. So here I am today with 2 new all over pattern designs. As you can see, these have been well used. I have Ink and Flip Christmas tree pattern, which we've got some samples. I'll talk to you about them in a second. And Ink and Flip Snowflake pattern. These have been, I've been waiting for July to come around to introduce these 2 new products, because yeah, I'm just super proud of the Ink and Flip concept, and honestly it is just so much fun. You can have fun with colour and pattern, and even though this is a Christmas tree, I'm sure it will work for other seasons as well. So on this card I actually had 4 colours. So I had, did I have 4 colours or did I had 6 colours. So I had 3 in the sort of turquoise aqua. So I had aqua sky, I had tide pool, and I had oceanside. And then I had sprout, parsley and evergreen. And I sort of started off with the lighter colours and then went to the medium and the dark, cleaned it and then flipped, and then did the other 3 shades of the other colour. And then I obviously cut some out. I did some separate ones, cut them out, and I'm loving these postage dies from Waffle Flower. I used them the other day and I just think they create a lovely little focal point there. I added the Merry Christmas block from Pattern Building Christmas Tree, super fun, and obviously a little bit of bling on this one. And then this second card, you'll actually see this one being made in a short. Well, I just I don't think I made the full card, I just showed how the ink and flip works. So I used, on this card, I used rainforest and pistachio, and then when I finished inking, I actually afterwards, I think I did finish the card, but then later on I decided I wanted a bit more sort of detail down the side, so I trimmed a little bit off and then mounted it onto an evergreen card panel for the base. So this one, you'll see part of it, you'll see in a short later on today. And then of course I had to give the rainbow treatment to the snowflakes. So I had 2 shades of each colour, so red, orange, yellow, green, turquoise and purple. So on one side of the ink and flip, I did all the lighter shades working down, and then when I cleaned and flipped, I did all the darker shades, and that gives the wonderful two-tone sort of effect with the rainbow look as well. And the sentiment is from Snowflake Serenade. And then finally I did, this is grape soda, and I added some sparkles. So I used the silver pigment ink through the Snowflake stencil and then embossed it. I think my silver's sort of like running out a little bit, so the embossing powder didn't quite stick in some places, but still looks good. And then I used the Big and Bold Snow dies and the Let It from the stamp set from Big and Bold Snow as well. I apologise for the scratching on the door. It is Jelly. What do you want, mister? He wanted to be in, so I do apologise for that. I can never get through a video without some kind of interruption. So they were the cards that I've shared on the blog today. So I thought I wouldn't keep you too long, but I'd show you how these ink and flips work and what they look like. As I say, I am sharing a short later as well, so if you don't have time to watch it all, there is a quick video as well. So while I was at a show recently, I bought some card from Lime Tree, and they had these pre-cut squares that measure, I will tell you the measurement because I can't remember off the top of my head, but I thought they were quite fun and would save me cutting. So they're 12.5 centimeters square. So it's a beautiful, perfect size for a 6x6 stencil. So we'll start off with the Ink and Flip Christmas tree pattern, and I'm just placing it. This one you don't really need to be super precise, like positioning it in the center or whatever. You can if you wish, but I'm not too precious over where I place it. So for this one I thought I would use, I'm just going for this random colour scheme of sunflower and artichoke, and we'll see how it turns out. So literally just like any stencils, you just choose your ink. Obviously I'm using the brushes here, but you can use the old-fashioned, I say it's old-fashioned, I still see some people using it, the tool with the foam circles on the reverse that you switch out for various colours. I still have mine somewhere. I did, when the Distress Oxides came out, I got on with it a lot better, but I have to say I do much prefer using the brushes. I just find them so much easier to use when applying ink. Obviously, I still get the odd section that I'm not happy with, but I just keep going over until I have a nice smooth finish. And I try to sort of draw the ink in from the stencil, so rather than just going straight into the aperture of the stencil, I try to bring my ink in to avoid any of sort of those streak marks. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to lots of practice, I think, with stenciling and just playing about. So you can use pastes through stencils. I don't seem to use paste as much as I used to these days. Mainly because they dry out so quick in the pot, and also no matter how fast you clean your stencil, there is sometimes a little bit of residue. But saying that, so I'd sort of moved more over to doing embossing, heat embossing through my stencils to get the sparkle with embossing powder. But you'll see when I come to the Snowflake stencil, I still end up, no matter how good I am at washing the stencil, there is always that little bit of residue. Oh, the other one's come in and joined. Callie's just tapped me from behind to say, hello, I'm here. It's usually, I'm hungry, feed me. So, yeah, I've been having issues. I don't know whether it's because we've got a lot of warm weather recently, but you'll see when I get to the Snowflake stencil, it has marked a bit, but it hasn't damaged the stencil. It still works perfectly fine. And you'll find that reds and purples, for example, might sort of like stain the edges of your stencils, a bit like those colours can do with your stamps, but it is what it is. They still work fine. So then what you want to do, so you've done one side and you take it off, and I keep this microfiber cloth next to me. It's always damp, just so I can wipe off the stencils. And again, I forgot my tea towel today. So you want to make sure the stencil is dry before you place it back down. So this is the way that I had it, and then all you're going to do is literally flip it over. Now this one doesn't like match up straight away, so you actually have to move it to the side a little. So it is designed that you can fill a larger space and just keep repeating the pattern. So if you had an 8x8 or even bigger, an A4 sheet, for example, you could fill, depending on what you're doing, what you're creating for, whether it be cards or scrapbook pages, this works perfectly. So then all you're doing is just lining up the bottom of the tree and the tip of the tree. And I always keep a little bit of copy printer paper. There's always a little bit of something hanging about that I can just mask off that one side, so I don't get ink where I don't want it. So then we're going to go in with the artichoke. We'll see what this colour combo looks like when finished, though I think the sunflower is a nice golden yellow, so I'm hoping it gives that sort of golden feel to it. But as I say, when it comes to Christmas cards, bright colours doesn't have to be traditional these days. I think you can have a lot of fun with these stencils, and when it comes to Christmas card making or tags, or, you know, if you wanted to do your own wrapping paper, which I don't think I've ever actually stenciled any wrapping paper. I've stamped on craft paper before for Christmas. I did the poinsettia, the Pure Florals poinsettia once, and heat embossed it in black and sparkly. That came out nice. I can't remember the reason why or whose Christmas gifts I was wrapping up, but there must have been a special reason. I don't normally go all out with wrapping paper because, especially in our house, it just gets ripped off. They're not bothered what it looks like, they just want to know what's inside. So you just keep going over until you've done all the trees. So with the ombre, when I used 3 greens and 3 aqua colours, I went down, started at the top with the lightest, went through the middle with the medium, and then the bottom with the dark. And then when I flipped it, I did the same but with the aqua colours, for example, in the greens. So that's how you sort of get the ombre effect, and because you're inking and flipping and you're doing 2 lots of colours, it gives a really fun effect and result. But it's super simple. So we've done that, and then all you're going to do is move the stencil along to the other side to complete the pattern there. So I'm just lining it up. I'll put 2 magnets there, put my little bit of paper here so I don't get the green where I don't want it, and then complete the pattern. And you can just keep on going, and I'll show you how you do it, just to fill like the tops and bottoms as well. It's just the same concept, but it's fun how you can get an all over pattern. So then you'll see here, so you'll see here that there's some gaps at the top and the bottom. So then to fill them, all you do, so you can either like sort of move it up here like so, and then you know you've got it exactly evenly spaced, and then do it. I've noticed I need to clean it because the colours, this is the yellow side, so I need to just change it. And then, so I'm just gonna give it a little clean, and we'll go back to the yellow and then infill it. So I'm just wiping it down with my cloth. I don't want my cloth to go on where I've already inked, even though it isn't super wet, but I don't want it to ruin. I think these colours have come out really nice. So as I said, so you can place the stencil over where you've already inked, and then you'll have it lined up nicely. So we'll go back to the sunflower. And just do those little edges. You could do it before you move down. I just find it easier to visualize when I've done both sides, side to side, and then I go top to bottom. I just find it a little bit easier to line the stencil up, and I haven't had to mask anything off here because I'm only literally doing these little tiny bits at the top, so there's no chance of ink going everywhere. So then we'll just give it a clean one more time, and then we'll go back in and finish the pattern. But as you can see, if your card was bigger, you'd just do what I did and keep going to fill it in. And then all I'm going to do, I'm going to line it up here again. And all I did was, to get the individual trees, is I just masked one off and did just some single ones and spaced them apart a little bit so I could cut them out easy. They were really easy to cut out because they're straight lines. And I think this would, oh, I haven't matched it up perfect here, but I hadn't realised, so I might have got a bit of green on the yellow there, but never mind. I wasn't paying attention, I was too busy talking, which isn't unusual for me. So I'm just lining that up. Just put that there. I can't remember what I was saying now. Oh, I think there is, I haven't tried it yet, even though it's on my list to try, but I think this will pair lovely with the Ink and Flip Christmas tree that came out last Christmas. The tree is like a slightly different shape, but I think it will pair lovely. So that is the Christmas tree. And then we have the snowflake, which works on exactly the same concept. So I'll just bring the stencil in. So you see here that the purples that I've used has stained it a little bit, and you'll see sort of like some little marks where the VersaFine that I used. So it is like slightly tacky on one side, but I've tried to clean it quite delicate because these parts of the snowflake are quite delicate, and a couple of the girls, the brand ambassadors, have actually tried using paste through this stencil, and the results are lovely, but it's just a nightmare to clean. So you do have to be a little bit careful when it comes to cleaning that these bits of the snowflake don't catch. So I tend to have it flat, and I have an old toothbrush, a soft one, and I clean gently over. So I just need to do it a few more times just to get some of this residue off. But as I say, it hasn't affected the stencil, it still works perfectly fine. So I have another piece of this square card that was pre-cut. The only reason I didn't buy a lot of this is because it's not quite as white as the other card that I've been using. So this is a card I made yesterday, and you see the white difference. It's quite a difference, and I do much prefer white, bright white. So same concept with the snowflakes. Just place it where you want. So I've chosen a different colour scheme for the snowflakes because we don't want to use the same colours all the time, even though I do have my favourites, as you know. So I've chosen eucalyptus and carnation. These are Concord and 9th inks. And again, I've just randomly chosen these colours. I don't really know what they look like together. I just thought I'd give it a whirl and see. So we're just going in with the eucalyptus. And even though this stencil is quite delicate with the parts of the snowflake, You don't have to be like super delicate when it comes to ink blending. As long as your brushes are nice and smooth, they shouldn't catch at all on the stencil. That was the only thing I did find with the foam pad and tool. They did catch a little bit with the foam. With the bristles of the brush, it has a little sort of bit more give and leeway when it comes to going over the apertures to apply the ink. So I think there's a lot of fun to be had with this. So this snowflake design as well, I spoke about this in my video yesterday, how when I'm designing things, you'll often notice icons and fonts and things that are repeated across Uniko products. And it's not because I'm just lazy when it comes to designing. What I like is coordination. I like to be able to breathe new life into things that I've released before. You know, and we get all these new supplies, and yeah, we have our favourites. We go back to them time and time again, but sometimes we neglect products we've had for a few years, and we might bring them out occasionally. Anyway, so this snowflake you might recognise. It is the same style snowflake as the one from Big and Bold Snow. So this is Big and Bold Snow. I can't tell you when it came out because I forget. I do have a list, but it's on my phone. And we were working through the list, and I forgot loads of products that I'd either retired or whatnot, or just simply forgotten about. So I'm still doing my PDF with all the Uniko products of when they were released and the year they were released, etc. So I was just a little bit rough there with cleaning. So I've done that. My cloth is quite dry now. We've had, hasn't been mega warm. So how did I have it? Let's get it right. This is the only thing sometimes when you've cleaned it. So I've cleaned the stencil, I've flipped it, and now I'm just lining up the tops of the snowflake. I think I've rotated it somehow because I've got my gap at the bottom. But that is the beauty of these. They will match up as long as all the ones that you've inked previously are masked off. Then it doesn't matter if you haven't worked the flip out exactly with these pattern ones, because it is literally a mirror image. I was just looking for my little bit of paper and I couldn't see where I had put it. So I'm just going to secure that at the bottom just so I don't get any pink ink where I don't want it. So it is a little bit of a different concept than the previous ink and flips. So I'm just going in with the carnation, and I'll show you how, once I've done this, how the image from the snowflake from Big and Bold Snow matches up, which will give you some other creative options as well if you have that stamp set in your Uniko stash. it is one of the Big and Bolds I still have dies for from my previous manufacturer in the US. I haven't bitten the bullet yet to go to China yet for my dies. I will, because I do want to expand the range. It's I'm just so excited about all the stencils and stamps and things that I am designing currently. Sort of dies get put on the back burner, so I do apologise for that for those of you who are waiting for dies, but I will get there eventually. So we're just infilling this, so I won't bore you by filling it all in because you've seen me do it with the snowflakes, and I will do another short at some point showcasing the snowflakes. So those colours look really pretty together. So this is Big and Bold Snow, and you've got the snowflake. There's actually 3 sizes, and it does match up, and it is quite slightly smaller, so you could stamp it in the middle or off to one side to fill it in. There's lots you can do with it, and if I'm correct, if you have Background Builders Christmas, no, it isn't the same. I thought it was the same. No, it isn't. So this is the snowflake that it matches from Big and Bold Snow. So this stamp set is in stock, and there are a few dies of this one still, and you get the so you get the shadow. I've used it on here, so you get the shadow and you get the actual words, so you can use the dies on their own, but then the stamp snow fits inside both of the dies as well. You get the large snowflake. I'm trying to think if you get the smaller ones, because I might have misplaced some of mine, but yeah, they're still in stock. So that is Ink and Flip Christmas tree pattern and Ink and Flip snowflake pattern. I know the brand ambassadors have done a marvellous job of showcasing these stencils today, so be sure to check out the Uniko blogspot blog for all the links, and you'll also find links on the Uniko website blog. I usually link back to the original post and then to Izzy, who is after me on the hop list, so be sure to check out the inspiration. So these 2 stencils will be available on the website on Thursday the 31st of July at 9 AM BST. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you're as excited as I am about these 2 new Ink and Flip patterns. I will be back again tomorrow with the 4th product introduction and another fun one for you. So I hope you'll join me again tomorrow. Bye for now.